Before I start this video, Assalamualaikum. How are you guys doing today? I literally just did the whole reaction and my camera was off. It was off. It was turned off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run this back. We're gonna run this back. We're gonna run it back. We're gonna run it back. Hope you guys are enjoying your new year. Alhamdulillah. Honestly speaking, this is my third video that I'm doing today. So maybe Allah is trying to give me a break. I'm working hard today. I'm working hard today. Technology, right? Alrighty. I may have to turn on the light. Hopefully this gets done really quickly. So I'm not even going to edit this video. I want you guys to see everything. This is going to be so genuine and from the heart. Okay, I might just hit upload on this video when I'm done. Today we're going to be doing The Greatest Woman by, it's a spoken word by Talk Islam. You guys know I love me some Talk Islam. So let's just get right into it, okay? I'm going to react. Not reenact, but I'm going to react again. Maybe I missed something.
You know, something must be wrong when almost every single song has sex as its basis. When rap stars get famous after making lyrics that are shameless. When a woman is expected to sleep with a man who doesn't even know what her name is. And when artists are paid to degrade the very woman that have made them. To the point they are nothing more than pieces of plastic that we can dispose of once they are no longer attractive. It's sickening and sadistic that this world's become so misogynistic. And you can call me unrealistic, but just listen to the statistics. 7 in 10 men view porn while over 75 million are addicted. 68 million requests a day for pornographic pictures, making 1 in 4 searches sexually related. It's like nobody even knew she existed until she got naked, degraded and abused over and over again just to gain millions of views. It's a shame we've subdued to a definition of beauty which is so misconstrued.
Okay, really quickly, I'm not 1 minute and 26 seconds. And right now he's talking about how, like, women have been sexualized and itemized. Most importantly, women this day and age are looked at as items, as possessions, as something that it could be bought and replaced if it breaks. To the point where even when it comes to our bodies, there's so much being done. You can literally buy a new body. You could buy a new face. You can do all of this. But the thing with those things, your DNA stays the same. Your genes stay the same. So that's one part I want to say. Second part is he's talking about like how in this society, your value is based on your likes. I've had a friend. We're not friends anymore because honestly speaking, Allah said she got to go. And I'm not bashing her in any way or putting her business out there, but she would do obscene things. And I would always tell her like, hey, maybe you should like chill out. Not do that because at the end of the day, you're a woman, like you have to value yourself more. And I had a long conversation with her. And it's like what I said just went in one ear and out the next. But I say that to say like, women these days are like so desperate to feel good about themselves to the point they will go to means unnecessary, like unheard of before. I noticed like this one lady, she gets plastic surgery, like she removed some of her ribs so she can have a small waist. Why would you do that? You what? Anyways, but I say all this to say, if you do not like yourself, and I'm speaking to everybody, I'm not even speaking to women, I'm not specifically women and men alike. If you do not like yourself, if you do not love yourself, the internet likes are not going to make you love yourself either. You could get 1,000 likes. None of those likes matter unless you like yourself. And most importantly, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like you, that's... I'll leave that there. Let's continue the video, guys.
As we judge each other's looks off of Facebook likes, Instagram pictures to filter off what we really look like. See, we are so obsessed with our outside, we have slowly lost sight of who we really are in real life. I mean, it's sad to see so many teens lose their self-esteem. Looking at these magazines thinking they have to look like what they see. Please, you are worth much more than a 2D image.
I'm at 1 minute and 52 seconds. He's speaking about like how the things we see portrayed on the media are affecting how we feel about ourselves. And that's very true. Yesterday was New Year's. Well, today is New Year's. Yesterday was New Year's Eve. I kid you not. I was watching the news and the news was encouraging people to go out and drink. They were telling people like, oh yeah, you could go like cocktail hour and this and the third and you should get this liquor and that. And I was just like, this is the news? Now imagine you're sitting in your house. You're somebody, let's say, God forbid, you were like addicted to alcohol and you haven't drank and the news comes up. The local news comes up and they're telling you like, oh yeah, like you should get this liquor and this alcohol. That is insanity. Like, and it comes down, like what he said comes down to so many different things, down to the children. Their shows, children's shows are no longer children's shows anymore. Even the dolls that kids play with. Have you seen the new dolls that they make? These dolls will have curves. Like, it's ridiculous. But you don't have to live up to the standards of society. Like, you really do not. It's not that serious. I promise you it's not that serious. And anybody who doesn't accept you as you are does not deserve to have you around. That's how I feel about it. So, let's continue.
Image on a screen, you are a living, breathing human being. If only you knew what you really mean. Just look in your history books and begin to read of all the girls in the world who were capable to achieve, and you will surely see with certainty females like Fatima al-Fihri, who opened the first ever university, Rufaida al-Islamiyya, the first nurse to perform surgery, and Aisha bint Abi Bakr, the greatest female scholar in eternity. It's a shame you probably haven't even heard of these great female prodigies. Honestly, we don't need to give up our modesty in order to be successful. For you are worth much more than a commodity that is sexual. You have so much more potential if only you knew your worth. You could be like the greatest of all women to have walked this earth, like Mary, the mother of Jesus, chosen by Allah to be an example for the believers, a woman who stood strong even when she was abused, falsely accused and ridiculed for things she'd never ever do, so it didn't really matter when there was nobody else beside her, for she knew that God was Ar-Razzaq and her ultimate provider, and she had a trust in Him alone. Just like Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun, a woman who was brave and courageous, stood up for what was right and didn't let anybody change this. A woman who was fearless and laughed in the face of death, for she gave up the riches of this life for a palace in the next. Next up.
Okay, I'm at 3:29. Really quickly, I can relate to what he said. Let me see who he was talking about again, because I don't want to get the names mixed up. I think he was talking about the wife of Pharaoh. This video is going to be so all over the place, child. But basically, he was saying that she gave up her riches and she always stood for what's right. I can honestly, like, relate to that. I'm the type of person, if I feel like it's unfair, even if it's like, if it doesn't have nothing to do with me, I don't like unjustness I can't stand to see it. I don't. That, and I stopped the video to say, that recently I've given up music. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, I'm not sure. But that was the hardest sacrifice for me as a new revert. That's the only thing I was talking to my sister about. I was like, that's the only thing I feel like I actually really sacrificed, because my music, it was doing well globally and everything. And it's like, just when I'm starting to like build, I became a Muslim, and I literally deleted all of my music. Like, as much as I possibly could have, I deleted it. And that was the biggest sacrifice for me, because in this dunya, music gets you far. Like, the amount of money I could have possibly made from making music, I probably can't imagine, because I've made money from making music. Granted, I've made money from making music. But if I continued what I could have, the potential that I had and what I could have possibly have done, people would look at me like I'm crazy for giving it up. And even my sister asked, she was like, wow, like, she's really proud of me, because she knows, like, that's something big. That's not something easy to just throw away a career like that. It's not easy. Like, I was doing shows, I was getting paid, and I was just like, it's not worth it. Like, for the sake of Allah, it's not worth it. So I just gave it up. But yeah, let's continue. Sorry about that. I'm at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh wait, actually 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
Khadija, the mother of the believers, a wealthy merchant who had nurtured the Prophet for over 25 years, his first wife, the love of his life, and the mother of his kids. She was the first to believe in him when nobody else ever did. She just is beyond any words that can make you understand. So much so that even Allah sent her his salam. She was grand, and Allah assured her, just like her daughter, Fatima, the master of all women in paradise, a woman who would shine so bright she was nicknamed as Zahra, the splendid one with the most generous of hearts, a woman who gave up so much of her food she had no choice but to fast. She would fight on behalf of her father even as a little girl. And such are the examples of the greatest woman in the entire world. And it had nothing to do with how they looked, but for who they truly were. So ignore the standard of success defined by society, when God has said that the best of mankind are those who have piety, regardless of your shape, your color, or your race. For God does not look at your bodies, nor does he look at your face. Rather, he looks towards your heart and checks your faith. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the people say or who they think you are, when you could be like the greatest of all women in the eyes of Allah. The greatest woman.
I love this video. That is my initial thought. I love this video, and I love Talk Islam. But okay, on a serious note, guys. Okay, on a serious note, like, today's women are so pressured in society, it's not even funny. It's really like an epidemic. People are chopping themselves up, putting foreign materials in their bodies, stripping down naked, doing everything. And I'm not saying this to judge anybody, because honestly speaking, I was once falling into that trap. And I always used to voice my opinion on it. Like, always used to voice my opinion on it. For instance, when I was doing music, I would explain to somebody, like, he would tell me, like, sex sells. And I'd be like, I don't want to do that. And he would always say, like, he would always be like, he knows that's not me. Like, I'm not the type to sit here and, like, do certain things, certain acts. Like, and I'm not saying this in a judging way as if I'm better than anybody. I'm saying it because I've been in that position before. And it's uncomfortable. At least in my opinion, it's uncomfortable for me to strip down like that, like, or even going out and wearing like a little skimpy outfit. It's uncomfortable. I feel like I feel vulnerable. I feel like you can literally see me, like I'm literally naked, and that's what it comes down to, is being naked in front of 1,000 people. You don't know who's seeing you. You don't know like who you're passing by in the street or anything like that. So it's just like, and sorry, like my brain, like I have so many thoughts about this. It's just like society has like brainwashed everyone. Like if a solar flare was to come hit the earth and take out all the electricity, that would be done. Like everybody, the only reason some people feel like there's somebody is because the internet. Without the internet, if the internet was to be taken out, we will all go back to being nobodies. We will all go back to actually paying attention to our families, actually speaking to them, actually going outside. People do not go outside anymore. People do not go outside. Like, and it's scary. It's so scary. One thing I like to do, I like to be outside. Like, I like to go outside, smell the fresh air, walk around, see new things. People don't do that anymore. And if they do that, they're walking on their phone. I've watched people cross the street on their phone, and a car could probably nearly come and take them right off the sidewalk. And it's crazy, but that's a little off topic. Right now we're speaking about women. Yeah, I feel like women these days, like, they don't understand the value. That's why, as my revert, I immediately put on the hijab. I immediately bought a couple jilbab. I bought a bunch of abayas. And like once, it was a specific video that I watched. I don't remember it. Hopefully I can find it so I can share it with you guys. But it was a specific video I watched, and basically it was like women are precious jewels. Like, or actually it was someone who explained it to me. If you're watching this, Duma, I thank you so much. I love you. He explained to me like women are the precious jewels to Allah. Right? And if the way I see it, if you have a diamond necklace, you spent $100,000, you're not going to just let anybody touch that necklace. You cannot trust everybody with that necklace. You cannot, somebody can steal it, somebody can break it, somebody can do things like that. And since my eyes were open in that way, and also in a way where I believe it was Ali Dawa, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Ali Dawa. He was talking to someone, and he was like, the way men's brain works is when you're naked like that, like when you're dressed in like either tight-fitting clothes or like very revealing clothes, essentially you're being raped visually. Like men are basically like having sex with you with their eyes. And once it was put in that perspective, I kid you not, I was like, yeah, not happening. I was like, because you wouldn't want that physically. That's not something that you would want to physically happen. So why on a spiritual, mental, emotional level would you allow that to happen to yourself? That's crazy. But it's like a lot of women are so lost, And it's not their fault. Like a lot of people are misguided in this world. Like this world is like the time of social media. Social media is a cancer. And I feel like also another thing that plays a part is feminism. Feminism is a cancer to women all over the world. In Islam, as a Muslim, I didn't know that the woman had so much power until I learned about it. Because from the outside looking in, it just looks like, oh, like you have to get wrapped up. It looks like something you don't want to do, but no, it's a choice to do so. Not only is it a choice, Allah mandated it for our own good. For our own good, not the good of men, for our own good as women. We were advised to do these things because Allah knows how he made men and how he made women. He knows that. Like it's just so many things to say. I can't necessarily put it into words. Like, I can't put it into words. And I'm only 23, so people see me dressed as this willingly, and they ask questions. And I'm just like, I tell them, I value myself. Okay, this is editing Coco here. Just a quick little something extra, right? On a serious note though, guys, as a woman, and also as part of my point with feminism, is that feminism has taught women how to degrade themselves. I do not want to be sexually objectified. How is it that women complain about men sexually objectifying them all the time, but then go and turn around and sexually objectify themselves? That doesn't make sense. You doing it to yourself makes it even worse than someone doing it to you. Because that just goes to show that you don't even care about yourself, really. You don't. You feel like you're taking the power from men. You're not. You're giving them more power. You want to know why? Because now you're in control of it. You're willingly doing these things. Men no longer have to ask because you're willingly doing it. So it's like, it doesn't make no sense. And like, I wish a lot of women will open up their eyes. This sexual liberation nonsense is just that. It's a cancer. And a lot of these sexually liberated women are miserable. Genuinely miserable, because they know within themselves that it does not feel good. What they're doing does not feel good. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It feels disgusting. You feel tarnished. Men do not respect you. Nobody respects you. You can't even try to ask for your respect, because at the end of the day, it's like you're plastered all over the internet. Like, look how you treat yourself. Do you think other people are going to treat you better than you treat yourself? You dictate how people treat you. How you treat yourself is how other people will treat you. Men like instant gratification. They love it. They love instant gratification. If they can get what they want the easy way, why? That's the best thing for them. You want to know why? Because men have to work really hard to get what they want. So when they can get something easily and it's so accessible to them, it looks like they value it. They don't. They don't. And I wish more women will understood that. Like, and it's not even about the men. But at the end of the day, that's our counterpart here on this earth. As women, our counterpart is men. So, like, when you look at it, you have to treat yourself the way that you want to be treated. You have to treat yourself with the respect that you want to be treated. You have to give yourself the love that you want to receive from others. You have to set the tone for others to follow. You have to set boundaries so that people know where they stand with you and what's not going to happen. What it is and what it ain't, and what it will never be. That's the simplest way that I can put these things. And it's like, it's something that's very concerning to me, because there's young women growing up so fast. Young girls, little girls is growing up so fast. And they're on a straight path to nowhere. They're on a straight path to a dead end. Literally a dead end. A lot of people commit suicide. A lot of people, like, starve themselves off the strength of what they think is acceptable. You are acceptable as you were made. You were acceptable as you were made. If you wasn't acceptable, I'm pretty sure Allah would have got rid of you a long time ago. You probably wouldn't have been here placed if you weren't acceptable. So it's just something like, I don't know. Like, I'd rather be the example set. Like, I'll link my TikTok as well, because I actually made a TikTok about it. And I was just like, I will be the example. Like, I'll be the martyr if I have to. I'll be the example. You guys can crucify me, whatever you want to do. Like, but I'm going to show you where I came from and where I'm going and where I'm bound to be. Honestly speaking, and I'm not, like, it has nothing to do with men. And I wish women will understand that it has nothing to do with men. It has to do more with yourself than it has to do with men. But that's just a quick note from Editing Sparkle. I'm going to bring back the regular me. And as a man, right? I wouldn't want other men to see all my wife's goodies. I wouldn't want other men to see my wife's goodies, because my wife is my wife and her goodies are for me. That's how I will feel about it. So out of respect for myself, out of respect for my future spouse, and for the sake of Allah, most importantly for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm going to dress like this. I'm going to cover up. I'm going to wear baggy clothes. And nobody will know what's under here. Unless he's my husband. And I feel like that's the way things should be. Like, when you really learn about things is when you open your eyes. Ignorance is bliss. A lot of people are ignorant to things, and it's just happy to the fact that they're ignorant to it, because the moment you learn about it, you start to reflect on yourself and you start to find flaws within yourself. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. And like, a message to all women and young girls watching this, take it from somebody who's been through like the fast life and who's wore the skimpy clothes and who's done the music and who's done this, done that. It's not worth it. It's 100% not worth it. Men do not treat you nicely when you're half naked on the internet. That is another thing. They do not treat you nicely. Since I've been dressing more modestly, even before Islam, when I've been dressing more modestly, I get treated with way more respect. I get approached a certain way. It's a completely different world. A completely different world. A lot of men who approach me know that they in New York we say get next to. They know that they cannot date me. They know that they cannot get next to me. They can't even get near to me. I've had someone try to pursue me, and he already put himself in a box where he knows that he's in a no-go zone. He mentally put himself there. I didn't even have to say anything. Before I even said anything, he already put himself where he belongs, because he knows this is not somebody that I can easily access. And I feel like everyone should take that into consideration before you judge and ask questions. It's always good, if you're a non-Muslim, ask questions, because you will not know until you know. There's no such thing as a stupid question either, so feel free. Or drop a comment below if you're watching this and you're non-Muslim and you have questions. How was it for me to put the hijab on? How is it for me to wear jilbab? How is it for me to wear abaya? Ask me questions. I'm open to it. But that's all I have to say. I don't want this video to run on too long, guys. And the sun is setting, so my lighting is like, and I gotta go pray. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for your recommendations. I love you all. Thank you so much to Duma for teaching me a couple things. If you ever do watch this, thank you so much. I love you. But I will see you guys in the next video, my brothers and sisters. Wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Jazak'Allahu Khair. Bye.